I'm here with Reggie Aggarwal, founder and CEO of Cvent. Well, first of all, congratulations on Cvent, but also on Cvent Connect.
Oh, thank
here
you.
In Vegas, 5,000 attendees were a tremendous success. I was there in 2013 in Orlando. Actually, I've seen the evolution
Peabody.
of the Peabody, correct. So, what's the role of this event for you today, for the company? How do you feel about Cvent Connect?
Sure. So I appreciate you for the marketing. We're actually 4,500 people here, so it's our biggest Connect yet. And really, all it is it's a chance for our customers to do a couple things. One is to meet our Cvent team, from our leadership to our product managers to their client service support team. It's great to have that personal interaction. You know, the second thing, of course, is to hear thought leadership and to get more familiar with our products. And a lot of it is just for them to kind of strategically take a look at how they can use Cvent, frankly, technology. But the biggest thing is when customers talk to other customers. And then it's great to see when companies meet each other saying, oh, this is how I'm using Cvent. Like, for example, in higher education, when a bunch of the universities got together, they were talking about different ways they've used the system. Or corporations, you know, if you're an enterprise corp, how do you do internal meetings? Or it could be, you know, a mid-sized organization. But the point is, it's really to foster all that. And really what our biggest thing that we've seen as a benefit is two things. One is for our employees, they get excited. Nothing makes them, you know, to meet customers, and they're grateful and the impact we've made, and it makes them excited about our industry and of course about Cvent. But the other thing is really where our customers find religion. When they start seeing all the things that we're doing and all the different ways you can use Cvent and see the kind of passion that our employees have, plus our customers, I think that really inspires them to leverage technology. And again, not just Cvent, but technology in general, how it's changing our industry. And so I think that's a big part of why we do Connect.
It's the power of events.
It's the power of events and the power of human connection.
Obviously, you've been in the news for, you know, a lot of acquisitions in the past couple of years. You know, we're seeing a lot of consolidation. You're driving that consolidation. What are the plans for that, as much as you can share? We would like to have a scoop, but you know, whatever you can share about the future plans in terms
so let me give you a couple thoughts and just some advice from people in our industry. So the first thing is that we actually didn't do our first acquisition until 12 years after we started. So I have a saying at Cvent, which is you got to grow your tree trunk straight. So for us, it was just, you know, one product in the beginning, you know, one office. And then it wasn't until, you know, 7 or 8 or 9 years later, we had another product, and then, you know, another office. And so, but we generally grew our tree trunk straight, which is we were pretty core to our mission and kind of kept it kind of close. And in 2011, near the end, we bought our first company. And we've been primarily driven by organic growth, which means that, you know, we didn't buy companies. And they were frankly, small acquisitions compared to our size. And so then we've been accelerating them recently. You know, so our strategy, why we're buying companies, is really 2 or 3 reasons. The first one, and most primary, is you add a product that fills out your platform. So we want to have the most, we believe we actually have the most comprehensive global platform for event management and event marketing. And so, as I'll give you an example, one we just recently made was a company called Social Tables. Known them for a long time. Great product. It's the market-leading product, you know, for sure. And we know that it's super compelling to use. And let's just say our option is you don't put it in the platform or we build it. And it would take us years to build it. And Don Berger, who started the company, did a great job building it, great culture. Don's still what the company's whole leadership team is. And basically, we're just integrating it to our platform. So from our customer view, it's just going to make them happier because they have more stuff. And that's your typical strategy, just round out the platform. The second strategy, though, when you buy companies is sometimes you're doing it to acquire new markets or new customers. Look, our industry is still young. A lot of companies don't know Cvent still, and they don't even know much about event technology. They're still using their manual processes or their internally built systems. So when we get a chance to get into a certain customer, then as soon as we start telling about the platform, you know, I think that gives us an opportunity to grow. And then the more we grow, the more funding we get from our customers, and the more we can put into R&D. So I mentioned at our keynote that we have 1,300 product engineers, but total we're about 1,600 or 1,700 technology people at Cvent. Wow. So, and to fund all that is just you get more customers that use it. The more customers that are on the platform, the more we can just continue to add to our platform and put money in R&D. We spend, hundreds of millions of dollars a year on R&D. And so I think in terms of the last thing is when we do acquisitions, and I'll give you an example like Double Dutch, Quick Mobile, two companies that we bought that are very talented people, but we've kept all their engineers, all their client services. And what's critical is that you find people who've known our space for a long time. It's not easy to find that. They have a passion for the space. They built great products. They were worthy competitors. And now we're adding them to our cadre of R&D people. And so ultimately, we think we're going to output a way better product combined in terms of how we look at it. And I think it's better for our customers. But ultimately, what drives our acquisitions is our customers, making them happier. And what you got to make sure you don't do is acquire too much and lose that tree trunk or that culture. And even though we like to maintain the culture to some degree, I'm going to be clear, some degree of the companies we buy, Cvent has a culture. When we get the companies, I think what we've seen be very successful is you take them, make sure they believe in the culture, they have the same value system, and that's what I think is important because you have that consistent culture that allows your company to expand, to continue to scale, but most importantly, give that consistent culture to your customers.
What's next for Cvent? That's what everybody is asking because, once you're at the top, they say you can only go down, but you seem to go higher than people can even imagine sometimes.
We're going to continue to scale with our customers. And as they take us global, we need to scale as we continue to put more in R&D, as we consider to have the full platform. All those things that we're doing, we think we need to scale because it's hard for us to keep up with our customer growth. And I think that's driven by a couple things. One is the meetings and events industry is growing. Just in general, meetings are growing as opposed to reducing like some people forecasted with technology. The exact opposite is that people are leveraging technology to enhance the experience. And so therefore now they're seeing a higher ROI in events. And you've seen all the studies that say that after your website, face-to-face meetings is the #1 ROI in marketing spend. And now we can document that. And that's huge because and you just look where all CEOs are, all the executives. And all the executives always go to their live events because that's where the action is. And that's how you drive your business. But so what I think is happening is the whole industry is continuing to grow. We're going to continue to scale our business. We did last year hired 1,000 people. This year we plan to hire close to 1,000. And I think that our goal is first and foremost to hire a lot of engineers to just drive product. Because at the end of the day, if you have great products, things tend to sell themselves. You got to give that support though, and because planners are still learning to be technologists. One of the things I like to say is that technology's here, it's accelerating, and it's pervasive across the entire event lifecycle. So it needs to be your core competency. And so as event people start to understand that, and they start gearing towards that of fighting it and adopting it, which I think they're doing, but there's still lots of opportunity there. So I think in the end, we're going to continue to scale. Our products continue to scale going globally. I very confident we'll continue to be the leader in being innovative because we're just having a lot of engineers, and frankly, our customers are telling us what to do. And that's what's the great position is when you have as many customers that we do, you got a lot of smart people there that will just tell you the roadmap. And we don't really, I'm not saying we don't have to think about it, but our customers know their business and they give us so many ideas, and part of doing here at this conference is to listen to them and make them feel comfortable that we listen to them because they will tell you what to do. And if we just listen, it's hard to beat that roadmap when you have hundreds or thousands of customers telling you this is the direction we want to go. We're with you. Well, let's march on the journey together.
Fantastic. Last two questions, very quick ones to close. What advice would you give to yourself at 20 years old if you could go back? Would you share anything with 20-year-old Reggie? Well,
I don't think we have 2.5 hours for me to give all that advice. No, but there's lots of things. I mean, look, if I had to give, I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs. I certainly do a lot of entrepreneur talks. And I always say, I just did my 5 lessons I learned. But I'll tell you from a very practical level, it was probably the biggest one is be patient. It always takes twice as long, 3 times as long to do anything you think, whether even you have the neatest technology or whatever you're doing, it just takes longer. So you got to be patient. You got to kind of march, as long as you're making progress. If you want to go that way, even if you're going 1 mile an hour, at least you're making progress towards that goal. So I would say be patient and kind of be consistent. That would be kind of, I'll put them as one piece of advice. The second piece of advice I would say in terms of how people should look from an entrepreneurial view is that you don't always have to be an entrepreneur. You could also be what I call an entrepreneur. And the reality, most of the people who are listening to this are probably entrepreneurs, or they should be, which is you're being an entrepreneur within your own company. You may not be the founder, you may not be the CEO, doesn't matter. You could still act like that company's your company, and you can, and really the hallmark of that is that your behavior is driven by values rather than rules, and you treat that company like it's your company, whatever that means. So, to entrepreneurs, be patient, be consistent, hang in there. Lots of opportunity in technology in the event industry. For the non-entrepreneurs, is that, hey, be an entrepreneur within your own company, and if you have good management, it's so easy to recognize those type of people. And they're the ones who rise to be the leaders of the company.
Interesting, lots to think about. We always close with this question. There's never been a more exciting time, I would say, to be involved in event technology. If you look at the level of investment, acquisitions, whatever it's happening, having witnessed for the past 12 years when we were essentially talking by ourselves, and not a lot of people were listening, there's a lot of excitement. So if you had to share a word of advice to someone that is looking at starting a business in event tech, what would you say is the, what should they think about? What should they concentrate on? Because there's a lot of, they don't get it sometimes. There's too much going on. It's such a fragmented industry. So what would you tell them today if they're just starting out to be in a path for success?
So what should I tell my potential competitors to do and give them advice? Exactly. No, I'm joking with you. No, look, like I said, there's plenty of opportunity. There really is. The space is humongous. I told 10 billion. There's lots of things that are innovative out there that a lot of companies aren't tackling, and that's what's interesting about our space. But what I would say is that customers do want one throat to choke. That's why from a platform view, that's what's important. So I would say not everyone can create a platform, but whatever you build, then you need to make sure it's part of an open ecosystem, because you will be maybe that product that's the category leader in that, and maybe ultimately build a platform. There are companies out there that obviously we're trying to build a platform or enhance our platform, but I would say that if a platform strategy, or if not, then an open architecture or open API or an open ecosystem product. Yeah, you have to play with others deeply in our space, because and that includes us. That's a hallmark of what we're doing, because there's so many spaces we'll never develop into, and there'll always be someone who does it better than us and is more passionate about that sector, and we gotta work with them to satisfy our customer, and at some point maybe acquire them. No, I'm joking, but look, that's what I would say is those are the two strategies: is kind of a platform, or if not, got to make sure you're part of the open ecosystem. But hang in there. The space is big. It's evolving. It's changing, and we look forward to working with them potentially.
Absolutely. Well, Reggie, thanks a lot for your time. You're super busy. Here's to the next 20 years at Cvent, and congratulations for an amazing company and an amazing event.
Well, I got to tell you, I was very honored to be on here, because I know how much you've been influential on the space, and I know how many people from my organization always look forward to reading whatever you put out, because those thoughtful, insightful, and thanks for your investment in the space.
Thank you, Reggie.
So, okay.
Thanks
well, thank you.
Thank you.